2 months after returning home from deployment, 80 soldiers from the Minnesota National Guard are still working to adjust to their return to civilian life. New at 5, WCCO's Alan Henry has a look at the challenges they face and what's being done to help.
From the Middle East to Minnesota, these soldiers say there are some difficulties when trading in the sand for the snow.
After 9 months, go back to the Middle East, you come back, it's hard to sleep at night, basically. I talked to my sergeant major this morning, I'm not sleeping good.
That's why the Guard hosted a reintegration event for these soldiers at Bethel University. Having been back from Kuwait and Iraq since late January, they know what areas need some work.
Financial resource counseling to like maybe marriage counseling or parental counseling. Help us really try to figure out how to come back into a normal life since we've been gone for so long.
For Lieutenant Colonel David Johansson, this last deployment was his fourth. His first was in 2004, shortly after the conflict in Iraq began.
The missions have definitely changed over time, and then who we work with has changed with over time. Going from standing up police forces back in 04, 05 to now we're actually working with Kurdish, Asayish, regional government soldiers or Iraqi security forces. So it's a different dynamic.
But despite having 4 tours under his belt, he says it doesn't get any easier.
In truth, it actually probably gets a lot harder because now instead of it just being myself and my wife, it's 4 human beings that are all impacted, and then the externals, the neighbors, and then the extended families.
Which is why reintegration is so important.
Because when the career of the Army is over, all you're left with is what you're building at the time. So that the family is one part that I think is super important.
Alan Henry, WCCO News.
While deployed, the soldiers supported more than 9,000 personnel across 4 locations in Kuwait and Iraq. A second reintegration event is also planned for them.